Happy Saturday, everyone. Today we're going to talk about leading, not managing. Okay, the first step in your business is to get a little bit of a team, but then it's really easy to just kind of gloss into management mode and just kind of straightening the tapes and organizing this and that, and maybe checking in on them and asking what they are doing. And you kind of go into management mode if you're not careful. So this is to just help you step into more of a leadership role rather than management. You want to lead by example. So the speed of the group is determined by the speed of the leader extensively, but it's not 100% on that. People are never going to do quite what you do unless they're the one percenters. It's rare to find somebody who will outrun the leader. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen, but don't wait for it and don't expect your team to keep up. You are going to be running out in front, leading by example, showing them by example what you want them to do. And then it's kind of a 50-50 role. You're doing by example, but you're also taking the other 50% of the time to get down with them and work in their groups to help them get going. So my husband, Eric, has a phrase that he uses all the time of here's what we need to do next. And that is a phrase that you can use when you talk to your people. Here's what we need to do next, not go do this. You're not their boss. But if you guide them to do what you're doing and show them the next step, they're more likely to participate. He also says, my husband's full of wisdom, and he also says that you need to do for others what they don't know they can do for themselves until they know they can. So it's the role of the leader to get down in the trenches and do for the people that are brand new until they realize that they can do it, that they don't need to have all the answers, that they can memorize basic things or use note cards or write on the back of papers and have pictures that they're showing and the words are on the back. There's lots of different ways that you can do presentations or step into roles that you're maybe not feeling like you're ready for. But we need to show people how to do it. When they come in, they don't know. It's like starting a new job. You have to be taught basic things or follow somebody around until you learn them. And that's how this works too. You have an enroller for a reason. You have an upline for a reason. And if they're doing their job right, they're showing you step by step how to do the basics until you know how to do them for yourself. It's not rocket science, and nobody is more special than anybody else. There's just people that have been doing it longer that are a little more polished. So don't be afraid. You have to be bad before you can be good. And it's okay. Every one of us had somebody giving us a little bit of guidance at one time. But if you're stepping into that leadership role, now it's your turn to pay it forward to the people who are following you. Now, not everybody's going to want to do it. That's okay. And it's normal. You're sifting and sorting among the troops, among your people to see what they want. Ask them what they want. Remind them to remember what they want. They signed up as a distributor for some reason. So don't be afraid to ask them why they're here, why they signed up as a distributor, and what they want out of this. Really dig deep, because if they really want to make 5 to 10,000 or 40,000 or however much, figure out what their magic number is and help them remember why they wanted to achieve that. Do they want to retire? Do they need to have enough money to take care of their retirement and their parents? Do they need to have money to take care of a child that's going to need some special care throughout their lifetime? What is it that's driving them? And help them to remember it. And then help them set up the meetings and help them role play to set up appointments or whatever is needed to help them grow to the next level. Your goal as a leader is to get down in there and start finding somebody in each of your 4 legs that you can work with. And I'm just going to tell you right now, that's the foundation of your big business. And if you don't build the foundation strong, you're never going to be able to get a large building to last. So it's worth taking whatever time it takes, but doing it as quickly as possible so the cement doesn't dry funky. If you're trying to pour a foundation and you stretch it out over months, it's all going to dry at different stages and levels. It's not going to hold up equally well. So with this type of a business, you want to try and bring your people in a clump. That's why they have the 500 club and they give you that first 90 days to bring in 10 people. It's not just an arbitrary number. 10 people traditionally yields 3 or 4 people who get it and who will run and who are calling you and who want to build this, and you don't have to try and push them. They are excited. So if you have to bring in 11 or 12 to find that fourth person, maybe you have to bring in 15 because you have 4 leaders that turned up, but 2 of them ended up in the same leg. Guys, there's no magic to this. You just have to do whatever it takes until you find somebody to work with in each of 4 legs. And a leader will do it until the job is done. A leader doesn't make excuses. A leader is somebody who looks for solutions rather than complaints. A leader is someone who forges through even when the road ahead gets a little bit rocky. A leader is someone who will be positive and upbeat even when it's hot out, even when the trail gets hard. They are the one that is leading by example. How do you want your distributors to act? Do you want them to be positive? Do you want them to be out talking to people? Do you want them to be looking to the next rank? Do you want them to be pounding the pavement and really searching for their leaders so that they can grow to the next rank? Well, if you're not doing that, why should they? You need to be out setting the example. If you're setting the example for your people to go hit the 500 club and you haven't done it yourself, then maybe it's time that you did it. Even if we're not in a pay period that the company is paying you, Eric and I still recognize people that hit the 500 club qualifications. If you bring in 10 people that come in as distributors at a $200 or higher level when they join in a 90-day time frame, we will put you on the leaderboard at actives.info. We will recognize you. I know some of the leaders are doing promotions in their own teams for people that hit that 500 club. And if they do it in their first 90 days, the company recognizes them with the money or with the products or with the tablet, however they want to get rewarded, they're going to get that. But that is an absolutely important step in building momentum in your team. So a couple things, help your people hit it. And if you haven't hit it yourself, lead by example. You need to be out there hitting it. And even like I said, if it's not in a company recognized period, we will still recognize you and show that you've hit that mark. So leading by example, we never want to leave the growth of our business on somebody else's shoulders. If you're looking at towards the end of the month and you're short just a little bit of volume, it's so great to be able to look down through your team and find people that are just a little bit short of their ranks and their goals and be able to get in the trenches and help them accomplish it. That's the best way for you to push yourself over. But if they're not wanting to hit that rank and they're not motivated to do that, you just sitting back and hoping and wishing and pushing them to do it and put all the pressure on them of they need to hit this rank so that secretly you can hit your rank. That's not the way to do it. So we want to be helping people where they want the help, but not putting the pressure on them if they don't. If they don't, and it's important to you to hit your rank and it's not important to them, you need to go sign up some new people. Because number one, you don't have the leadership in that leg, but they're wanting it for themselves. And number two, we don't ever put our success on somebody else's back or in somebody else's hands. It's your responsibility and it's your reward. So a couple different things with leadership. It's important to be a servant leader. We don't want to be the leader that's pompous or arrogant or walks around expecting others to do things for us or give accolades or get the door. I mean, just there's common courtesies, but we should be doing those common courtesies for everybody. My Molly says hi. It's one of the benefits of working from home. Molly wanted to come say hi. Sorry about that interruption, everybody. But being a leader, you should be the best servant in the room. You should be serving the people below you and helping them reach their goals. Anytime I look at a new rank, I'm breaking it out to say, okay, if I want to hit A6, I can do A6 by helping one person in each of my 4 legs go A3. That means I'm helping other people get to ranks that are going to bless their lives. And in the process, I hit my goal. Now, it can happen that way at every rank. So that's just one example that I know off the top of my head. If you're looking to go A8, you can break it down the same way. Okay, so A8 is $20,000 in volume. I need $5,000 in each of 4 legs, and I can help somebody hit those ranks. Guys, I don't even have that rank memorized. I know there's a $5,000 rank and I could look it up, but I'm not going to right now. You don't have to know all the numbers and you don't have to have all the answers. You just have to know where to find them. That's another leader tip and secret behind the scenes. It's better to know how to find them than to know all the answers, because then people think they have to know everything to be a big leader, and you really don't. You just have to know where to go. Okay, want to make sure that I'm covering all my points here. Okay, so some of the key takeaways, some of the key phrases. Here's what we need to do next. And we're taking them by the hand and we're doing it with them. We're helping them along the way on their journey. Do for others what they don't think they can do until they know they can. Thank you, Eric, for these great statements. The speed of the group is determined by the speed of the leader. I've watched huge organizations fall apart because a leader steps completely out of it. Sometimes it's intentional. Sometimes they get lazy. Sometimes they get complacent and think they've got it in the bag. Sometimes life takes them out because of an accident or an illness or a family member, something that happens they weren't expecting. If you have only got you as the leader, you have a very fragile business. You need to build up those 4 cornerstones, those 4 pillars of your organization, and have a leader in each of your 4 legs. It doesn't have to necessarily be the 4 people at the top of each of those legs, but you need to find somebody that wants this as much as you do down in each leg. And then the next step is we find a leader underneath them somewhere down in one of their legs that wants it as much as they do. They're looking for 4, 1 in each leg. You as the leader above need to stay with them on the hunt till they find at least 1 of those 4. And at that point, they should know enough to take on the leadership and continue finding the others to complete their 4. So that being said, the magic happens when you have a leader backed by a leader, backed by a leader in each of 4 legs. Reason being, if you have 3 deep leadership levels, if something happens to one of them, let's say this middle one has something happen that just takes them completely out, you still have 2 leaders there that can help organize and structure and support that team and that group. They can bounce things off of each other. They can talk about how they can help the people that are left high and dry by this person having to deal with a massive car accident or something that's happened in their life that sidelined them for a little bit. And those 2 people can shoulder that responsibility together. They may actually become stronger because of that person stepping out temporarily. However, if you only have a leader backed by a leader and something happens to one of them and that person is left alone, sometimes they cannot shoulder it. Sometimes the weight and the responsibility of all of it becomes too much and they step out mentally. And what happens when a leader steps out? The whole group can fall apart. We've watched literally $100,000 disappear in a matter of a month or 2. I've seen it happen many times over the last 30 years. Guys, that phrase, the speed of the leader determines the speed of the team, it really can happen that way. And if a leader mentally checks out, it does have an effect on the whole team. So we want more than 2 deep level leadership. Obviously, I didn't go over if you only have 1 leader and something happens to that 1 leader, you can kind of figure out what would happen to the team. But even just leader backed by leader still isn't strong enough. We want to have leader backed by leader, backed by leader. We teach our people when you start to get those 2nd and 3rd and 4th business centers, don't start focusing on building them and putting people, you can have 1 leg built underneath it because you're going to build that leg anyway. May as well build your 4th leg down through your 2nd business center. But don't start building out the other 3 legs for BC2 until you have at least leader backed by leader in your other 3 legs, because that starts to create the stability of leadership in those legs. Too much is responsible on 1 person. If something happens to that 1 person, you can have a collapse. Okay, so lead by example, make sure that your people are growing along with you. It's not just about you reaching those top ranks. It's really hollow if you get there alone. It's a lot more fun if you're hitting those ranks and your people are right on your heels. And I promise it's a lot more fun if you've got all 4 legs vying for that next rank, racing, growing together, showing some friendly competition cross line, and really just growing together. And that can't happen unless you bring in enough people quickly at the beginning to get people that come in at about the same time. Otherwise, they won't ever get those relationships. And one will be too far outpacing the other. They won't ever have that competition because they don't see themselves as equals. So, couple different secrets that came through today. I hope you caught them. Massive growth in the beginning to find your leaders, and then helping them rank and advance to help you reach your rank, leading by example, being a servant leader, getting down in there, doing for them what they don't know they can do for themselves until they know they can, showing them and teaching them and being there with them and for them, saying, here's what we need to do next, and guiding them one step at a time. I just want to end by sharing my screen really quickly and showing you the chart that we showed at our leadership event. This is the chart. This is not the chart. Well, this is a chart. It's not the one I meant to show you. Maybe there's a reason that you're seeing this. Okay, so you're hitting A3 by signing 5 partners at 500 each, but really we're signing how many? 10, because 10 is going to start to yield the leaders for each leg, 10 to 12. Hopefully we'll find you one person in each leg who's willing to run with you. The next step is to hit A6 by helping one person in each leg go A3. And it might be the person that you brought in, and it might be somebody down underneath them that wants it even more than they do, and helping them go A3 like you did, signing up 5 on their way to getting 10 to 12, right? And then month 3, or the third step, hopefully you're doing it a month at a time, but if you're not doing it that fast, just do it as fast as you can. You want to do this so that it creates momentum on your team. You can actually hit A8 by helping one of your 3s go 6 like you did. You're going to have one that probably rises to the top. It's a little bit more motivated than the others. That's normal. It's okay. That's why our bonus structure pays out with one stronger leg than the others, because even the company knows that usually they're not equally balanced. That's why the unilevels are so much better than the binaries, because you're going to get paid on all of your work, not just your biggest leg. Okay, that's a very side tangent. We'll save that for another day. Let me see if I can find my other chart. This is the one I wanted to show you. Okay, so step by step, this is a very incremental business plan, but leaders go through each step while teaching the people behind them to do the other steps and make sure that they know them as well. Because if you're just doing them and you're just signing people up and then moving past them looking for the next person, and they don't know what to do next, you're missing some incredible people. It might not have been that person, might be, you don't know, but it might be somebody that they know. And if you can find the people that they know, you don't know who they know and who they know, and it can continue to just grow and find those people that want it as much as you do. So make sure that you're taking them through step by step. The success guide is full of steps and tips. Guys, everything's in place for you to grow with this company and to rise all the way to the top. Do the right behaviors over and over. Help teach your people to do the right behaviors over and over, and don't quit. What will the next 2 years or 4 years or 10 years bring you? Your life could be forever changed. Thanks for being with us today and catching this little tip on being a leader. We believe in you, and we know that it takes a lot of leaders to get this company to where it needs to be on that billion-dollar map. Thanks for being one of them. Thanks for taking the time to do this and to help your people. We are grateful for every single one of you and excited to take this journey with you. Have a great rest of the day.